CBDC, the story behind CBDC and why it was created. The idea of central bank emitted legal tender digital currency was brought in 2011 by a good friend Roberto Giori. His father had started De La Rue Giori. They sold 98% of all the printing equipment for currencies in the entire planet. Gualtiero Giori was a genius that started his empire by selling his first printing machine to Juan Perón, at the time the president of Argentina, and after Brazil, Chile, and the entire world. There is a book that was called The ABC of the Giori success story. I started at the beginning the adventure of Giori's CBDC in 2011. He had sold De La Rue Giori, but he had this idea of replicating the banknotes into digital currencies emitted by specific central banks. There was not a single person in this world better suited than Roberto Giori to do it. He knew everyone at the central banks, and they had the highest regard and respect for him. He had the genius of his father but all the right connections in the entire world. The IMF's Christine Lagarde was a great supporter of the idea at the time when the rest of the central bank managers were snubbing the idea because they were afraid to lose their own kickbacks generated by the printing world. COVID-19 accelerated the idea and its adoption. China was the most advanced in adopting it for very good reasons. The intelligence agencies were very supportive of the idea of CBDC because they would have been able to follow the money and find their criminals and terrorist groups. You always follow the money if you would like to solve a crime. We know that the real reason was very different at the very top of the pyramid. They were the biggest lenders and bankers of the planet. They were working on the total control of the populations and countries with a centralized governing system controlling the masses and the assets. Blockchain was created around the same time, and Bitcoin was the perfect testing tool. Like I always say that cryptocurrency is the biggest scam of the 21st century, but we forget and not see the real reason of its creation. Do you really think that this Japanese man that is called Satoshi Nakamoto decided one day to invent Bitcoin? If this was true, I would be the Pope. CBDC is very different from crypto, but its creators at the very top are the same people. You are dreaming in Technicolor if you think that the government does not know what you are doing with your Bitcoins. You should ask yourselves one question: who really created Bitcoin? Many of you will be so surprised when you will discover the truth behind it. If you are using a credit card for your purchases, the government knows already where you are spending your money. They know all your spending habits, your location, and all the other details that would go with your purchases. They can trace you where you are in a split second. The banknotes have as well traceability characteristics within each banknote. We never pay attention to the numbers in each banknote. These numbers are created by very sophisticated algorithms that would help the emitting central banks to trace the history of each banknote. It won't be as sophisticated and detailed in its traceability as CBDC, but the possibility is still there.